So here we are again.
Here we are. How are you?
I am.
And like they said last time,
Yes, am,
we
amness,
am.
just amness.
Yes.
We all are.
Yeah.
And isn't it a wonderful thing?
I keep using the thank you more, please.
I'm a little more careful about that. I'm grateful for everything that comes,
Yeah.
but there are some things that I don't necessarily want to be repeated. I
Oh
mean,
no. Yeah.
I want the good parts of but so I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then there's other things that I'm like, oh yeah, thank you more, please. Oh yeah.
Of course.
I'm a little more discerning about that right now.
Yeah, of course. Though it's always the blessings. It's always the feel good stuff that
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know and as much as there is that, there's the stuff where you're like, okay, and here we are.
And here we are. And
Yeah,
what more can you ask? Here
yeah.
we are.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And so I'm going to do a brief rundown. The words for the new moon are electric, lucky, rich, indulgent. I'm not feeling all of those at this point.
Yeah.
Some of them, the electric, I mean, it's been going on for a long time now, and we're all feeling it, and it's there.
Yes.
Uh, and I don't know if she says it's going to get more so or not, but um, I think that's part of the time we're in, the energy we're in,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah.
and it's really up to us how we decide to use that. How do we make use of it, or how do we see ourselves in it?
Right.
For instance, I have a story for you.
Please.
Okay, I haven't a title for this story, but it's a story. So if you happen to live in a tropical rainforest, like I do, and there happens to be humans around, like there are, and humans are not necessarily the best at thinking out the consequences of their choices. I think that's true. Okay. And so maybe they lived in the house, I don't know, across the street or whatever. And they had this sweet little pothos plant in their house, or any number of other viney type plants, which are wonderful on the mainland because that's the only thing you can get to grow in the winter and such. But if you happen to take that little pot, maybe say you're moving to a new place and you don't want to take the thing with you. So, well, it's just a little house plant, right? What if I just throw it out there in the vacant lot? It's going to be fine. It's just going to die. Not in a tropical rainforest.
Oh no.
These things become not only parasitic, but they become completely invasive. And as parasitic, I mean they will root into the trees and take all the nutrients from the trees and kill the trees. But it doesn't stop raining. So now you have these vines and this cute little plant that had these little vines, and it was so sweet. Those vines are now American 6 inches or more. This is like a sixth of a meter in diameter. In diameter.
Just the
And you
leaves?
fill those with all of the rain that they're taking in constantly. And these things become heavy, and it brings the trees down.
Oh no.
So, just about not quite a week ago, we had this happen, and it's not unexpected. We knew it was going to happen at some time. It'll happen again. We know that. We know that. But it brought down the big tree, brought down two of its smaller trees, and it knocked down a mango tree, which was for the first time in 10 years had a very nice crop on it. Yes, it was heartbreaking. And an avocado tree, a little less heartbreaking, but it brought it down too. And it made a huge mess in our yard and brought down fences and all kinds of wonderful stuff. All right, so we got it cleared up, and there's a little part of the avocado tree that was on the roof, and it didn't do any damage, but we managed to get it off and got everything safe. And I saved the chickens that were nesting under that. Fortunately, they were in a very strong box, and the eggs that were in there are fine. And I moved them over under the cacao tree. And Mama was okay with that. She still found her babies and thought it's a little strange, but okay. So everything worked out all right. But we still have all the mess out there, and it's going to be a project over time. So we move on about 4 days. And guess what we hear from the other side of the yard? These things are not quiet when they come down. There's a crack, 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 boom. And so I was out picking the berries, and from the other side of the yard, I'm hearing crack, 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 crack. Oh my, boom!
Ugh.
And it took down the better portion of one of the most delicious and well textured avocados that we had, which also was fruiting wonderfully well for the first time in years. Okay, well now we've got more of a mess to pick up. And so I'm out there working on it, working on it, working on it. And I managed to, at a point in time, there was a part of a log that had come off of the tree that's standing off to the side. And so I'm pulling all this stuff out, and I managed to kind of trip a little bit on the log. Not exactly, kind of trip. And I hear in my head, and this is not something this isn't right now, you got to do this. I mean, the energy here was, and it said, the word that came through was turn, but it had pictures with it, and the word should have been maybe pivot, but that's too many syllables at the time. Turn.
Wow.
It's not the kind of thing that you ignore. I turned, and I turned exactly. It was move your legs this way right now in this direction, and I did. I listened to it. And then what was coming at me out of the tree fell, and I fell backward. Had I not listened to intuition, the guides, whatever you want to call it, my leg would have been broken, and I know the exact spot it would have broken.
Oh,
And I don't know if it would have been an nice even break or if it had been shattered. I listened. I listened. If it's telling you in that strong a voice, now, do it. Do it now. It could be life-saving. So, okay, I'm very, very grateful that it didn't break my leg. I continued doing whatever I could, although my leg was very sore because I've got to get it to the safe point, get all of the pineapples to where they can at least have sun and fresh air and not be piled on by all this debris. So, okay, I'm moving everything around, moving everything around. I got it to a point where everything was safe. And I came back in to the house, and my leg is very, I mean, I'm limping. I'm for sure I'm limping, and it's not exactly pleasant. Okay, it's painful, and I'm still so grateful that I am walking,
no kidding.
that I am able to walk. So throughout the evening, it continued to get more painful, and I was trying to keep it, exercise a little bit, make sure that it's still staying okay. It got to the point where it needed to be supported. Okay, soft, easy, gentle, kind. Let's support it. I put the wrap around the ankle because the ankle had been messed with too, and uh, and I managed to sleep very well that night. And that night, I went into all the healing processes, healing every cell, every part of the body, sending love and new earth energy through all of it, healing the energy field, everything. And I slept. and it feels better this morning,
Good.
but it's not feeling, it's not 100% by any means. I still know the exact spot where it would break, would have broken. And I know that whatever happened, it was going to be hard on my ankle because my ankle is still strange. But
Mm.
I can walk. I can walk. It's
Wow.
the small stuff. And so as we go along, I know that if I turn, no turns, no twists, straight and easy, gentle, soft, easy, gentle, kind. Isn't that what we all want? No
Yes.
twists and turns, soft, easy, gentle, kind. And that's my
Mm.
story for this time.
Yay. Wow. What an adventure. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I I can't believe you've had a second tree come down and take things with it.
We were having a little trouble with that too, and I'm asking, okay, there was a message here. What is the message? What are we supposed to take from this?
Yes.
And apparently, and this is the next part of it. Um, this time is all about transformation and change. Well, in order to have transformation, because if everything is soft, easy, gentle, kind, and everything is nice, nothing changes.
Right.
Chaos precedes change. Always,
Always.
always. Chaos is happening all around us if we have our eyes open. For us, it became extremely visible in the trees on both sides of our lots, which only our lot. It didn't get my neighbor's lot. Well, of course, there's a whole lot that's in the vacant lots. I can do nothing about that.
Right.
But it's all about the chaos that breaks everything up, makes it so that we can see what needs to be changed and we can change it.
Mm.
And that's exactly what we're going through right now.
Mm.
The
Yes.
chaos that comes before and with the change. Because the change is already happening now. We all know that. We feel
Yeah.
the energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. I'm so glad. Again, like, I'm so glad you're okay, and I'm glad that your leg is not broken. And so, did it clip you then? It must have clipped
I,
you
I
and caught
fell
you a bit.
against the log, and the log had a piece sticking up out of the log that would
Gotcha.
have directly impacted that part of my leg. Yeah, it sounds painful just talking about it. But it is all part of the chaos and change that, you know,
Yeah.
all of the bright sides of this. On either side of us, there's so much more light. We can see much better. It's
Mm.
more open. The plants that are still around, and there's many, many, many of them, are just like overjoyed. More light, more air, more freedom.
Yes.
And so it's everything. If we look at it, everything is in for our highest good, even if we don't recognize it at that time.
Mm.
Even the fall was for my highest good,
Mm.
and listening made it much more so.
Yeah.
I cannot stress enough, if you get a message that's coming on that strongly, I mean, it's like, wow, it's in your face now.
No.
Do it.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
I've
Yeah.
heard so many stories from other people who got the same kinds of messages, and they
Mm-hmm.
did it
Yeah.
and realized shortly thereafter, maybe they're on a bike, they're riding a bike, and that says, stop now.
Yeah.
And so they do for no apparent reason. And then somebody comes through the intersection and they're like, hiya.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Totally.
So that and chaos before change. And when you let go of everything that is no longer necessary, even if you maybe thought it was necessary or at least even good, um, the world opens up, the universe opens up for so much more, even better to come in.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to the even better.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And sometimes these messages are strong. So I'm reminded of when I was an archaeologist working up north in BC, and I was on the top of a mountain, and I had my hands in a test pit, and we were, you know, searching things out for the company that had hired us, and I heard as strong as day, "Who are you helping?" And I kind of was taken aback and looking around. And of course, I've got only a few crewmates and they're not talking to me. And then I looked back down again and it says, "Who are you helping?" Just strong in my face, but not my face, right? Like in my whole presence. And I took a picture of that. It's a very blurry picture before digital cameras. I must say. Well, was it digital? But it's not like the instant. It was actually a camera that you had to go and get developed. and and it's a very blurry picture, but it's my hands in this dirt because it was that magical moment of I need this means something. Like I have to do something here, but I'm not 100% guided on what yet. And that changed my whole life. It changed everything that I did, where I lived. I moved countries. Shortly after that, I went and started doing my master's in counseling, right? And it was that moment. It was that, had I not listened, that I don't know where I'd be right now. I'd be doing something. And maybe, I believe, the messages would have continued until I got the picture, you know? So yours is sort of that instant listen now strength. And you can sometimes have the listen now and follow, right? So it's powerful stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. If
Yeah.
you listen to it,
Yeah.
so many people are so fond of just letting it. Why?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we know why.
Yeah. Exactly.
It is for your highest good.
Yeah.
The messages are not there just to be annoying.
Yeah.
The messages are there to help you live your best life.
Exactly. And
Whether that's in the very moment right now or whether it's a continuing thing, it's all about living your best life.
yeah. Yeah. And it's not always easy. It can get there, you know, but using the gentleness and the kindness and the softness for yourself can help ease stuff that sometimes we don't even really realize that we need eased. So powerful. Wow. Well, I wish I could come over and help you clean up. It'd be a little bit of a plane ride for me, but it'd be lovely.
Well, we'll get it done eventually.
Yeah.
And I will have a lot of mulch to use on the plants, an
Yes.
inordinate amount of mulch.
Right? Yes. And there's so much symbolism, like the invasive plants and the trees coming down and the fruit that was there and just all of it. Like sometimes I feel that we follow an instinct for so long and we get to a point and it's just not us anymore and it doesn't fit, and yet we try to hang on because we've worked so hard to get to this point, and yet we are getting new messages of let it be, let it go, like continue on, move on, stop doing that now, this is what we want you to do or whatever. And it's like you want to put your head in the sand and you don't want to listen, and it could be tough for sure. Yeah. So that ease with self is, I like the soft, is that the first? Soft,
Soft,
easy,
easy, gentle,
gentle, and
kind.
kind. Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah. We need to do that and be that with ourselves,
Yeah.
but we also need to listen.
Yeah.
And well, and those two are so interlinked. If we So many of us don't listen to our body. We don't listen to the messages. We don't listen to our body. We're so caught up in what we consider to be our mind. But if we realize that our mind is just an ego,
Yeah.
and that the brain, which we consider is where the mind is just a processor. And if we move on from that and we realize that the heart is where all of the emotions and feelings come from. Okay, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But where does real thought, our genuine life come from?
Mm-hmm.
And we now know, and this has actually been scientifically proven, it's from your gut. That's why there's so many idioms about the gut. I had a gut feeling, you know,
Yes.
and it's just, oh, yeah, that's true. Actually, it is.
Yeah.
And if we listen to our bodies and what they're telling us, like today, I have to be very careful and not move, no twists, no turns. Listen to the body. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And breathe. We're going to do so much better if we
Yeah.
just are in tune with what really matters,
Yeah.
and less in tune, in fact, letting go of all of this periphery that really doesn't matter.
I know. Yeah. It's it's something that I feel a lot of society has to practice now because we're not given time and space to do these things. We're not given time to listen and to really hear these things. And the song that's been in my head for a month or more is Simon and Garfunkel's Sound of Silence. And I had to pull up the lyrics because I was right. It says people talking without speaking and people hearing without listening.
Mhm.
And not wanting to be in the silence and yet not wanting to interrupt it when you finally get it. But the chaos is where people are more comfortable, but it's not a comfort. It's an uncomfort that we're used to.
Yeah.
So it's,
And at the same point in time, we're used to it because we have been so indoctrinated with it for thousands of years.
yeah,
And and this is a strong word, I know. We've been enslaved by it and to it and for it.
yeah, yeah,
And now is our time to be free, to let go. And all of us, every one of us,
everyone.
to get out of the slavery that we have been in for so
Mm.
long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's really, I don't even know if, like, I stumble on my words quite often, and I feel like there's not enough of there's not an English word to share this feeling, but it's like empowerment and love and joy and peace. It's like something, it's not enlightenment, it's just this full breath in and out. I don't know how to explain it. And that's how I feel with our visits, our chats, and any time that I connect with you and a few other people in my life, um, physical life, and then there's all the love in the ethereal world. But yeah, do you have anything else to say? Because I have another question that's popping up.
Go ahead. I'm fine.
Um, the words that you've shared that are in the diary, rich and indulgence keeps popping in. And you and I over the years have redefined word. We've suggested things need redefining and stuff like that, reworking. Now, a lot of people, when they hear those words, they think money and things and, you know, law of attraction, so that things come to them, right? Physical things. Share with me what comes up for you now, because you've been on this, spiritual journey for a few years now. But what do those words in this time mean for you?
First of all, abundance is so much more than that. And if you look at it carefully, what most people have been told is the definition of rich and indulgent and all of these kinds of things
Yeah.
is actually based in fear of not having. It is the lack, the fear of lack, all of that. And if you're in that, and if you're thinking, I need more, I need more, I need more, you're not going to get it because that's lack.
Mm-hmm.
You have to live in abundance. I have abundance of plants all around me. I have, you know, um, food. I share with my neighbors, and my neighbors share with me and on all kinds of levels. There is a community here. Like, for instance, the guy who took the pigs, he smokes the pig meat. He gave me some of that. It's wonderful. My body loves it because it's so natural.
Mm-hmm.
But when the mango came down, I sent him a message and said, "Hey, I've got mango wood for your smoker. This is abundance.
Yeah.
This is abundance. Do you have to have a nice house, or do you have to have a place to live? A place where you can feel safe. Well, mostly safe. um, a place where you can warm, dry, comfortable, preferably safe. What more do you need? Do you
Mm-hmm.
need a castle? Castles actually aren't very comfortable, by the way.
They're quite cold. Yes.
And so it our definition of these words, rich and indulgent and all of this, indulgent can be a bite of chocolate, savored.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes.
And that can be the joy of life. I believe a better term for rich and indulgent is enjoy life. And that the uh, acronym, whatever you want to call it, for that from the wisdom keepers now is eat chocolate.
You're making
Every
my
time they
mouth
say,
water.
at first they would eat chocolate and it really literally eating chocolate. My body was starting to change and to accept them more, and it needed the nutrients from chocolate.
Right?
Now it's more like, okay, enjoy life, go have some chocolate.
Yay.
I'm really good with that, by the way.
Yeah. I know. I'm trying to think, okay, put my spidey senses out. Where in the house is there chocolate that I can go in? Nice.
But that's what they're saying is
Yeah.
enjoy life. Life is to be enjoyed. We're here to experience, but we're also here. We've done, most of us, in our past, 1,000 years, thousands of years, we've done all of the work.
Yeah.
It's now time to enjoy life. And that's what they really want us to do. And that is the indulgent part. How can you enjoy life? Is it by getting out in nature? Is it by, you know, eating chocolate? Is it by whatever? What is it that helps you enjoy life?
Yeah.
It might be, there's another guy that's taking some of the mango wood, and he's a carver, an artisan carver.
Oh,
Oh,
good.
yeah, enjoy life.
Yeah. That's awesome. 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 Yeah. Yes. Thank you for that. And thank you to the wisdom keepers too, because it's it's about enjoying and learning and growing.
And being grateful. So grateful, even for the small things like being able to walk.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
Just grateful for all that you have. And even if you live in the middle of a very big city, you have so much. Everything is energy. Everything all around all of us is energy. It's all energy. And we are the energy. The energy is us. Everything is energy. You are the buildings. You are the rocks, the plants. You are everything.
Hmm.
And everything is you.
Yep.
How can it not be
Yep.
abundant? How can it not be indulgent?
Exactly.
Or, in the words that I would rather use, how can it not be a way to enjoy life?
Yes. Yep. Spot on. That goes very nicely with a book I just finished called Silence in the Noise. It's just a small one. Yeah, Silence in the Age of Noise by Erling Kagi, perhaps? Kag? He's Swedish. I don't know how to pronounce the last names. And he's an explorer. He's been to the North Pole, he's been to the South Pole, he's been underneath the cities of New York, the streets of New York, and all this kind of stuff. And he said his young self was seeking silence, and yet now he realizes you can have it anywhere. Just like you can be everything. We are everything, and we are silence if we need it, even in the middle of the most chaotic space. Even if we need a millisecond just to gather ourselves again, a simple breath in can give us that moment of silence, right? To regather our thoughts and our grounding so that we can make the next right move.
And the moment is all we have. That
Exactly.
millisecond, as you called it, there is no linear time.
Yeah.
There's only now.
Yeah.
And everything is now.
Now. Yeah. Mm. How rich is this conversation? I love it. Just like chocolate.
And indulgent.
And indulgent. Indeed. Indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you.
Mm.